So John was with Canton. The homeowner was retired Boston. We're talking Dighton now. He's got no connections to any of these guys.
It might be Dayton.
I think it's the way they say it is Dighton.
Okay.
I did I believe it's DAU, but the way they kept saying it was Dighton. So I've actually phonetically written it in my script so that I say it like they do, because I already can't say their state name. So I'm just trying my best over here. But so yeah. Second trial, they've got this witness. He was an individual who was present when Karen's Lexus SUV was being towed, between 3 and 3:15 p.m. on that Saturday.
Okay.
I guess it makes perfect sense to me that an officer does have to be there to supervise. You don't want a vehicle being towed from a suspect and them flying out there and, assaulting the tow truck driver.
Yeah, or, maybe somebody's there, pull evidence out of the car.
Or, yeah, anything really, yeah. I think that's the end of the list, but
it's literally endless.
The list goes on and on.
Did you have evidence? Yeah, we got evidence. Well, that's about it.
So this guy who was there, his name is Nicholas Barrows. He testified last week, and he said that when he saw the taillight at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a piece that was about 6 inches tall and 3 inches wide that was missing from Karen's taillight. And when he was asked if the evidence picture of the taillight was an accurate depiction of what he saw, his exact words were absolutely not. Ooh. And he's quoted saying, "That was the black Lexus. That was not the taillight that was there that day." So that taillight that they have in the pictures is completely smashed out.
Right.
So this is what Nicholas, who has no connection to anyone, he has said. Prosecution would come back and ask why he had not said that in the first trial. He said that he didn't remember, but in all reality, he'd never been shown the picture of the evidence. And he's not allowed to, they're under very strict instructions on the stand that they're not allowed to just be like, but I wanted to tell you a story about the day that I was there. Like there, it's like yes and no, and maybe an explaining reason, right? So they can't lead the conversation.
Oh, I never knew that. I thought you could kind of do whatever you had to do on the stand.
They're like, did you see this? And he's like, no, but I want to tell you about this one time.
What do you
Spring
think?
break, 97.
What do you think about this suit?
So, there's a lot going on with this taillight. Please bear with me because there's just a few more facts that I find extremely important. Carrie Roberts, who was the childhood friend of John's, who had been with Karen that morning, she was one of the three. She was probably, arguably the only sober one there at that point in time. She was, in John's life, she was kind of his go-to person for when, John was raising these kids. If he ever needed his niece's hair done or something motherly that he personally couldn't offer, Carrie was like his go-to. And, she was the friend that was just always there to like a stand-in mother if he needed one.
For sure.
So she said that while she was helping Karen look for John, the two got out of the car and Karen pointed to her taillight saying, "And look, my taillight, do you think I hit him?" And Carrie was like, "No, I don't think you hit him. Shut up. Let's go inside." This is like right when they're going to John's house to re-look for him, right?
Oh my God.
And Carrie says when she's on the stand, now they don't ask her if it was completely smashed out, but what she says when describing the taillight that she saw at the morning of the 29th, she said that there was a piece missing and a metal encasement, which by the diagram that I saw, I believe it was probably what separated the brake light from the reverse light.
Okay.
Like, if they've got like a swivel or something like that.
Yeah.
So she said it was a square piece of metal and one part of the metal bent outwards. And she remembered seeing it and thinking to herself, the Lexus is up high enough and it sticks out far enough that it could snag someone's coat. And so that's why she remembered exactly what the taillight looked like. But to me, it doesn't sound like a taillight that's completely smashed out. She says a piece was missing. Those verbatim, her words. Now, there's also Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe we're going to talk a lot about her in episode 2. She was the one who was conversing with John, come into the house. Where are you? Why am I calling you 18 times and you're not answering? Like, even still, like if you're inviting an acquaintance over and you've said, here's the address, park behind me. Are you just not at that point just waiting and saying whatever? Like you have people in your house. Like you're not like, where's that guy I barely know?
Yeah, right? Yeah. No, you're busy.
Yeah.
You're having a good
come in the house.
You're entertaining.
The ball's in your court at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm a basketball coach, so that makes sense.
So you know what you're saying.
So, yeah, she, was also one of the 3 women on that morning that they found him. Well, on the stand in Karen's first trial, she would say that she had spoken with Michael Proctor. We are going to get into Michael Proctor. He's a state police officer.
Ooh, a statey, they call him.
He's the guy with the text messages. Next episode, you're going to love that one.
Oh, I didn't know. I read that before I actually did a deep dive to fact check it. I thought it was fake.
Was it the leaky balloon knot that got you?
That confirmed it was real, actually.
That you're like, this sounds like an everyday conversation that I have.
I could not believe it. I could not believe what I was reading.
A real treat this guy is.
The leaky balloon knot.
And his wife and daughter have just come up and been like, this destroyed his career.
Yeah, well.
A couple regrettable text messages. Well, I mean, it kind of depicts who he was as a person.
Yeah, pretty kind of dog shit things to say.
Yeah, and a lot of really
gross,
framey-like things.
Yeah.
But anywho. So,
oh, yeah, aside from the framing stuff, yeah, just like shitty things. Yeah, right.
So, yeah, in the first trial, she would say, so they were asking her, the defense is asking her about Michael Proctor's reports. In his report, it said that Jen McCabe said that she saw a crack in the taillight. That's what she said in his report.
A crack.
However, she said that she said to him, I saw a crack and missing pieces. Like I said, in his report, it's only a crack. So she can only say, well, I said it to him. I don't know why he didn't write it down. But here's where it really gets interesting. And this kind of stuff makes me salivate.
Oh, I'm glad it's getting interesting now because this whole story's been very boring.
Yeah, Snooterfest.
So now, buckle up.
But seriously, click. As a way of showing that no one had gone near the smashed out right side taillight. I guess like they have to have like, official car exam. It's not just going to be like your PD.
Oh, like the D. Yeah. No, you
right. So it's
going
to be like what? You're like CSI or
car
maybe-ish?
forensic people probably.
Yeah, those guys. So as a way of showing that no one went near the smashed out right side tail light of Karen's Lexus SUV. This is the prosecution that's bringing this to light, by the way. In a court video, it was shown. Okay, and I'm going to post this because my God, it's insane. So it's seemingly, we're looking at, so here's the front of the car, here's the back of the car, here's the garage door, okay? So we're looking at, seemingly, the passenger side door, right? And at the back of the car, we have Michael Proctor. At the front of the car, we have the tow truck driver. And I guess he's taking pictures of whatever he needs to take pictures of as a tow truck driver.
Sure.
He even goes in and opens the door, and I guess maybe he's getting the VIN number or whatever. And, is that where it is? You felt like really silent there, so I felt like.
Well, I mean, because you know what, the thing I do know for sure on the side of the door is the tire pressure, but I don't know. You'd probably need the VIN, which I don't think is on the side. I think it's in the actual in the dash.
Well,
yeah, but I'm sure he needed some. Like I'm sure there's stuff.
We should start a car podcast.
Oh my God,
it would be so good. People would look in and look immediately back out. So yeah, so he's doing whatever he needs to do. Seems pretty official as far as I'm concerned.
Taking pics. Probably got a camera with a flash. Not even using a cell phone.
As far as this car guy is concerned, this seemed pretty official.
The grease monkey over here.
So next week, just coveralls. So then. Okay, so we're looking at this passenger side. You've got a pretty good idea what I'm saying here, right?
Yeah.
So then the tow truck driver leaves. And then from behind the vehicle, which we can't see really, a figure kind of just, appears. It's not Michael Proctor because we can see his head back by the driver's side taillight. Right. And then maybe the person was knelt at the back of the car. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But so this person appears out of nowhere and follows, is behind the tow truck driver. They start guessing at who it could possibly be. They say, could it be the chief, just based on height alone? And it's possible that it's, the chief. This is, once again, this poor Yuri Buchnick guy that's up there, and he's like, Jesus Christ, I'm really getting hammered here.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell you.
So then after that, Proctor's seen leaving, and he has in his arm what is, it appears to be a dark size binder type item. And, you know, defense would notice, it's very clear to me, but I think I knew what I was looking for. But defense would end up noticing that there was words in the video, specifically the word police on the back of another vehicle that was in this garage that was backwards. And it's not like an ambulance that it's like the words.
Where you put it in the hood?
Right. So this is backwards. So this video has been inverted.
Oh,
So,
what?
So the video has been inverted. And when they're asking Yuri about this, they're like, well, we asked you if this is an exact depiction of what you saw that day. And he goes, well, yeah, a mirror image is what I saw. Like just because it's a mirror image doesn't mean it's not what I saw. And they're like, well, no, because when we're looking at this looks like it's the passenger side. But then if you take the mirror image, we're looking at the driver's side. And actually, Michael Proctor's back there by the right taillight.
Come off.
And you do see at one point his head shift, almost like a weight, something happens. And
To, like,
and
break
also
it.
we've got this other dude down there that's just, I don't know, doing snow angels behind the back of the car. But they were like, when you turn it around, it's a completely different story.
What?
And you guys brought it to us saying that this was proof that no one had been near that right-hand taillight.
Right.
And now it looks like Proctor was only by that
That's
right.
the only-
That's literally the only thing he did.
Oh, man.
So it was clear that, you know, he'd been right directly behind that thing the entire time. And the timestamp on the video would show the Lexus right after it had been driven off the tow truck flight bed. So, you know, the tow truck driver's there.
Mm-hmm.
So this was at 5:37. The Canton Police Department, which would be, even though, okay, we're going to find out in the second episode, because of their close ties with the family, Canton PD does recuse itself from the case. That's why they bring in Michael Proctor, who's a state police officer.
Right.
But this would still be where they bring the Lexus, the Canton PD, and, you know, it should be under investigation by the state, but whatever. Regardless,
Yeah.
the Canton PD, where this Lexus is brought, is a 1.5 mile distance away from the Albert home. And the shrapnels of this taillight were found in between 5:30 and 6 p.m. on the night of the 29th. This was 5:37 on that same day.
What the hell?
So everyone before seems to have just saw a missing piece. Now all of a sudden we have this weird video where Michael Proctor's just
Hanging
chilling at the back right taillight. Now all of a sudden we've got a ton of, it's essentially all broken off. There's like a little tiny bit of red still in the corner of it, but it's all busted out. And now we've got a bunch of shrapnel that's being found at essentially the exact same time. So, you know, to me, that's and it definitely is a far cry from what I thought. These people sought out her vehicle, and
Sure.
you know what I mean. And Jen McCabe, who's, you know, going to be a big player in this, would have known about that cracked taillight.
Mhm.
I mean, Proctor, of course, would have seen it at some point. So it would be very, very easy to pop the rest of that thing out of there with that, you know, all you got to do is get your little handsy in there.
That's it.
And then he was leaving with something,
And just do a little sprinkling.
sprinkly doodle dandy. So,
Shit. It's just
yeah.
like Mark Furman, like
I think it's worse than that.
corruption.
I think it's worse than that. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting because we are going to find, you know, one piece of John's hair very weirdly placed on the back of the SUV. Even though, you know, it's gone through this Sally port is what they call it. Sally port. And it's been, you know, driven in a blizzard. It's been driven all over looking for John in a blizzard.
Right.
And then it's in the Sally pot. And
we
it's
found a
still
hair.
just one hair just clinging to life.
On the back.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff that we get into. We're going to get into the texts. We're going to get into Oh, there's just so
The texts.
much stuff that we're going to get into in the next episode. But I mean, this already went really long, and I don't really I feel like the next episode is probably going to be even longer than this one.
Nice.
And so I started out basically.
It's got to be like there are. Okay, you answer in this episode. I had 1,000 questions.
I've answered 4.
100. I got
Really?
100 answers.
Thank you so much.
But I still have 900 now that have cropped up.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
So yeah,
So it's going to be good, but I went from like deciding I'm just going to brief you quickly on this case
Right.
to like now I'm just moving to Dedham, Mass, right outside the Norfolk Superior Court. I'm going to be wearing my Free Karen Reed shirt.
I love this state.
Yeah,
I love how you guys
Can't
say it.
Love it.
Can't say it, but I love it.
I love it. Okay, so that's that, and
Wow.
yeah, I got to hop right back into research for this because
Like, don't
holy
you just not
cannoli.
want to believe any of this stuff, like the conspiracy and like cops working together?
Well,
and-
here's the deal: is like, and the reason they're saying that all these people were so quick to, and I'll get into Turtle Boy and stuff like that. The reason like this all came to light,
Mhm.
but they're saying that these police departments for so long have been so corrupt. And there's so many like inside, there's lying and there's planting evidence and all this kind of stuff that they were just waiting for something that was provable. And that's why so many people in the state have just been so, okay, yeah, let's go.
Right.
And so that's kind of, I think where they're at. And like now, even outside of the courtroom, they're not supposed to wear anything that says like Free Karen Reed or anything like that. Anything, and there's like a 200-foot buffer zone, but they're wearing, it's funny because so all the, people that are defending the officers are wearing blue.
Blue
Makes
Lives
sense.
Matter, yeah.
And
Thin blue
then
line.
Karen's people are wearing pink, and Karen's like, I don't know, I really like pink. I never wear it, but I like it. So they're all wearing pink. I'm like, she's like,
Ugh.
I don't want it, but for them it's great.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's wild. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna get into the defense team. Insane defense team. One of them, the new one that they just brought in, he defended Whitey Bulger.
Oh shit! Nice, big Boston guy.
Yeah, 2 of the others, they were on the Kevin Spacey team, which is like, I'm not loving the people we've defended so far.
Although Kevin Spacey, I don't believe he went to jail.
Oh, great, but that's neither here nor there. I've heard some nightmare stories about old Kev Space.
Oh, definitely a predatorial piece of shit, but got great lawyers.
Well,
Listen, you can't.
and that's what they. When I was watching her, because she was like, and so I called Harvard, and they said, look up the Kevin Spacey thing, and then call these guys. She's like, so I called them, and so she got 2 lawyers from that, and I was like, I don't know if that's the flex that I would want it to be, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Like, would you want OJ's dream team if you're saying like I totally did not do this?
I know. Then why did you get the most
Why'd you get the best?
high-priced,
Yeah.
powerful lawyer of all time?
But the guy that she
because-
initially went with, I'll get into him in the next. And so he was just kind of like, okay, well, here's this case. And like, basically she was probably drinking and she got into a rage moment and she
Mhm.
it was an accident. It was a horrible accident. She's going to live with regret for the rest of her life. But then they got a call from a guy named Mike. He's got a gravelly voice.
Oh,
And Mike said, you want to look into those people at 34 Fairview Road. And then they brought Mike in and he's like, literally, I don't know anything, but seriously, they're pretty corrupt over there.
what?
Like, he had no evidence. He had no reason. He was not a witness to this, but he was like,
Just throwing it out there.
he's like, I think I know a little something about something.
Shit.
Mike was onto something. But yeah, we're going to get into Turtle Boy because he's also problematic.
Turtle Boy?
Turtle Boy is he calls himself a reporter. He is a blogger. He was the one who kind of blew this whole thing up. He used to be a history teacher, and then he decided, I don't want to be a history
I
teacher
want to
anymore.
be a turtle boy.
I want to be a Turtle Boy.
Oh.
He also calls himself journalism Jesus.
Okay.
Something like that. But he was the one who literally blew this whole thing up and made it kind of the reason we're talking about it here in Canada.
Well, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, thanks, Turtle Boy. I wonder if he's one of the Ninja Turtles friends.
Obviously.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Stupid
What?
question.
I mean, like, hello.
Hello, you're an idiot. Okay, guys.
Wowzers.
So that's that for that. This is, I guess, kind of like our second YouTube recording because I mean,
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, we're trying to do better every day.
Mm.
So just
Woo. Get those numbers up.
Okay, you're just showing your credentials in that one, and
Yeah.
this one you're just showing your foot.
That's right. Hey, girls.
And
You
it's
like that?
wearing a slipper and a sock.
Uh-huh.
You
Well,
guys-
listen, I can't give the
Yeah,
the
you guys
cow
should
away
come
for
here right before recording and watch him use his shoehorn.
Oh yeah, actually,
Honk honk.
I don't mean to brag, but I got rid of the shoehorn because I now have Skechers slip-ins.
I know you got rid of it because you're like, could you ever use it? I was like, no.
I know. Could you ever use it? I've never heard anything more. I've never been
fuck outta
asked
here.
more of an insulting
outta here.
question.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in if
Wow.
you made it this far. And yeah, we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, why not?
Bye.
Bye.